The desert wind howls through the broken stones of Nalanda's ruins as Dr. Aaron Dev brushes centuries of dust from a half-buried slab. The air vibrates with an unseen pulse, a whisper that feels older than the earth. He mutters to himself that archaeology is a science of ghosts, but tonight, the ghosts seem to listen back. As his flashlight catches a carved lotus sigil, the sand quivers. Beneath it lies a fragment of text, shimmering faintly even in the dark. Iran's voice trembles. A sutra that bleeds light. A sudden gust extinguishes his lamp, and from the silence comes a low chant, not human but distant. Like the echo of monks dreaming beneath stone, he kneels, torn between fear and wonder, realizing this discovery might rewrite not only history, but the soul of the world. Morning dawns over the excavation site. Aaron stares at the unearthed slab as if watching a heart still beating. A team of assistants huddle nearby, whispering rumors of miracles and curses. He silences them with a weary hand. It's text, not magic, he mutters, but even he doesn't believe his own words. The sutra's glow has dimmed, yet faint warmth lingers when he touches it. His translator arrives, Tenzin, a wandering monk whose silence speaks louder than speech. This isn't discovery, Tenzin says softly, eyes distant. It's remembrance. Aran frowns. You believe in prophecy. The monk smiles faintly, only in Karma's echo. As evening descends, the sutra fragment rests inside a sealed glass chamber. Iran sits alone in his tent, scribbling translations while rain lashes the canvas. He cannot shake the feeling that the words on the slab change each time he looks away. The script breathes, rearranges, whispers. The candle flame quivers, though there's no draft. A phrase keeps reappearing in gold ink. When the world forgets compassion, a new dharma shall rise. He writes it down, but as his pen lifts, the letters fade from the paper. In the silence that follows, Aaron hears the faint murmur of monks, chanting the same words. Inside his mind, Miranjali arrives under the cover of night, camera slung over her shoulder, breathless from the climb. I heard you found something that glows, she says. Aaron's tone is cold. It's nothing for headlines. She circles him, recording every angle of the relic through the glass. Everything becomes headlines, she whispers. The sutra pulses faintly at her words and the tent light flickers. Aaron catches her gaze. A moment of shared fear. Some things, he says, were buried for a reason. Mira lowers her camera, her eyes reflecting the relic's glow. Curiosity burning into reverence. At midnight, Tenzin kneels before the sealed chamber, eyes closed, lips moving in silent prayer. Iran watches from the shadows. You think it's holy? He asks. The monk replies without opening his eyes. Everything forgotten becomes holy again. The desert wind moans outside, shaking the canvas walls. The sutra's glow brightens until it fills the tent, revealing brief images in the air. Cities burning, oceans rising, people kneeling in despair. Then calm, then light. Aaron collapses to his knees, whispering, "It's a prophecy." Tenzin opens his eyes and smiles, as if remembering something he once vowed to forget. Dawn spills over the Ganges plains as the relic rests beneath glass within Aaron's tent. Tenzin sits cross-legged beside it, whispering verses in ancient Pali. Aaron records the sound on his tablet, translating line by line. Frustration mounting. The sutra speaks in paradox. The religion that saves shall not be born from faith. Aaron scoffs, meaningless mysticism. Tenzin looks up, his eyes luminous. Meaning is the first illusion the mind clings to. Aaron stares at him, the modern man and the timeless monk bound by a single text that seems to read them both. Outside, the wind shifts, carrying the faint smell of rain and something older, incense from unseen fires. The camp stirs with the arrival of government officials, their boots crushing the sand that once cradled silence. A young officer demands access to the relic. Iran resists, clutching his notebook. Tenzin watches, calm as still water. Knowledge, he says, cannot be owned. The officer sneers. Then why do you guard it like treasure? Tenzin replies, because treasure corrupts those who seek it. The tent fills with tension. Cameras flash, and the sutra's light fades as if ashamed of human presence. Aaron's voice trembles, caught between fear and duty. It's not a relic, he murmurs. It's a mirror. Night returns heavy and electric. Aaron and Tenzin sit before the relic once more. You said the prophecy is remembrance. Aaron whispers. Remembrance of what? Tenzin opens the sutra slowly. Faint light spills onto his face. Of compassion forgotten long ago, he answers. The relic hums softly, vibrating the ground. In its glow, Aaron sees faint images of people from different eras, praying, warring, weeping, all reaching toward the same unseen source. He gasps. Is this a recording? Tenzin smiles gently. No, doctor. It is karma, remembering itself. The glow dims, leaving silence vast as eternity. Mira Anjali's story airs worldwide. The lost Buddha prophecy becomes an instant phenomenon. Crowds gather outside temples, chanting for salvation. Leaders claim the sutra foretells their rise. Aaron watches the broadcast from his tablet, disbelief turning to dread. They're turning it into a movement, he whispers. Tenzin closes his eyes. Every truth, when shouted, becomes a lie. Aaron slams the tablet shut, guilt flooding him. He sees now the prophecy is no longer his to protect. The world has swallowed it whole. Somewhere he feels the sutra's light fading, as if withdrawing from the noise of humanity. The rain falls endlessly. Aaron stands at the edge of the ruins, watching muddy water wash over ancient stones. It's out of control, he says. They'll twist it into faith, into power. Tenzin stands beside him, rain streaming down his face. Then let it twist, he replies softly. Even the storm has purpose. Aaron turns to him, anguish breaking his voice. You knew this would happen. The monk's eyes glisten with tears. Yes. Every truth must first destroy its shadow. Lightning splits the sky, and for an instant, the relic glows again. Like a heartbeat remembering light. The world awakens to hysteria. News anchors chant scripture-like slogans. Leaders claim divine appointment. Temples overflow with followers seeking miracles. Aaron watches from his hotel balcony in Delhi, the city lights pulsing like restless stars. They call it the dawn of the future religion. Mira says beside him, voice trembling with both pride and regret. Aaron turns sharp. You gave them fire, he whispers, and they're burning with it. She looks away. I only told the story. Aaron shakes his head. You told the world what it wanted to believe. Down below, chants echo through the streets. The future religion has come. Tenzin's voice lingers in Aaron's memory. Every truth, when shouted, becomes a lie. Inside a global summit hall, Minister Kale Ruryu presents the prophecy before the United Nations. The relic's image glows on giant screens as he declares a universal faith for a divided world. Aaron sits among the scholars, fists clenched. He's rewriting it, he murmurs. He's weaponizing peace. Tenzin, seated beside him, remains silent, eyes half closed. The text only reveals what already lives within the reader, he says. Kale's voice thunders. This prophecy belongs to humanity. Applause erupts. Aaron feels the sutra's meaning dissolving, truth drowned by human hunger for certainty. Mira confronts Aaron in a dim corridor after the summit. You can't stop it now, she says. The world needs something to believe in. Aaron's voice breaks. Belief isn't awakening. It's sleep. Mira leans closer. Then why do I feel alive for the first time? Their silence is thick with unspoken longing. Two souls trapped between revelation and illusion. Tenzin appears at the end of the hall. His presence quiet yet absolute. The prophecy is not lost, he says softly. It is only repeating. Aaron stares at him, realization dawning that the sutra is not predicting the future. It's describing the present. Riots erupt worldwide. Followers of the future religion clash with skeptics. Statues of the Buddha are painted with holographic halos. Chants of salvation blend with gunfire. Aaron and Tenzin watch the chaos on a projected news wall. It's begun. Aaron says hollowly. Humanity has built another cage. Only brighter. Tenzin turns to him. Every cage is a lesson, he replies. Even the golden ones. Mira storms in, breathless, holding a news feed. They're calling it the Age of the Mirror. Aaron stares at her, whispering, they never understood. Mirror wasn't meant to reflect God. It was meant to reveal ourselves. Night again. Aaron walks through empty streets littered with torn banners bearing the prophecy's words. A single poster clings to a wall. The future religion will save us. He rips it down and stares at the paper until rain blurs the letters. In the distance, temple bells echo like morning chimes. Tenzin waits by a parked jeep, eyes calm. The prophecy's truth is still pure, he says. You must find where it began. Aaron looks at him, exhausted. And if it ends there too? Tenzin smiles faintly. Then so does your ignorance. Lightning flashes. The two drive into the storm, toward the mountains where silence still remembers. The storm has followed them into the highlands. Roads vanish beneath fog as Aaron drives the jeep along narrow mountain paths. We're chasing ghosts, he mutters. Tenzin sits beside him, eyes closed, fingers turning his mala beads. Ghosts are memories that have not yet learned to rest, the monk says softly. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating snow peaks like the bones of ancient gods. Aaron's grip tightens on the wheel. You think this relic can still be found? Tenzin smiles faintly. It is not the relic we seek, Doctor. It is the silence beneath it. The storm roars, swallowing his words. At dawn, the mountains rise into silence so vast it feels alive. They abandon the jeep and continue on foot. Snow crunches beneath their boots as prayer flags flutter above ravines. Aaron's breath fogs with exhaustion. Why here? He asks. Tenzin stops, pointing toward a distant ridge. Because the prophecy began where words end. As they climb, they pass remnants of an old monastery. Walls carved with half-erased sutras. Aaron brushes the snow away from one. It reads only, Mirror of Dharma, the same phrase from the relic. He looks at Tenzin, whose eyes glimmer with quiet knowing. We're close, the monk whispers. As the sun sets, they find shelter in a cave lined with frozen relics and weathered scrolls. The wind outside howls like chanting voices. Aaron builds a small fire. Tell me, he says, what is the Mirror of Dharma? Tenzin's gaze drifts toward the flame. It is said to show one's true reflection, not of the body, but of karma. Aaron laughs bitterly. A myth, then. The monk's eyes flash with compassion. All myths are truths that wear disguises. As the firelight dances, faint images shimmer on the cave walls. Faces of beings long past, suffering and serene, merging and dissolving like water. Aaron falls silent, breath caught between disbelief and reverence. Night deepens, snow thickens at the cave mouth. Tenzin sits in meditation, motionless as stone. Aaron cannot sleep. His dreams blur with waking visions. Cities collapsing, oceans rising, and his own reflection in a mirror of light. "What am I seeing?" he whispers, Tenzin's voice, calm and distant. "Your karma seeking its end." Aaron clutches his head. "It's too much." Then you are finally beginning to see. The cave fills with golden mist. The monk's form glows faintly. Aaron blinks. For a moment, he sees the younger Tenzin guiding monks through the same mountain centuries ago. Then darkness returns, leaving only the sound of wind and realization. Morning arrives quiet as eternity. The storm is gone. Aaron steps outside the cave, the world white and new. Tenzin joins him, the rising sun painting their faces gold. "What now?" Aaron asks softly. "We follow what the prophecy meant, not what it said," Tenzin answers. He points to a distant monastery carved into the cliff. There lies the mirror of Dharma. Aaron exhales, his doubt softening into faith. Together they begin the ascent, each step sinking deep into untouched snow. The valley below glows like a dream fading into dawn. The world they left behind, lost in its own reflection. Snow falls in silence as Aaron and Tenzin reach the cliffside monastery. Its gates are sealed by centuries of frost, its bells frozen mid-sound. Aaron touches the door, feeling warmth beneath the ice. "It's alive," he whispers. Tenzin nods. Truth never dies. It only sleeps. With effort, they pry the doors open. Inside lies a vast hall filled with shattered statues and prayer wheels that spin in the faintest breeze. In the center stands a mirror, not of glass, but of polished obsidian, reflecting no light at all. Aaron steps closer, his own reflection vanishing into its depth. "Is this it?" he breathes. Tenzin answers softly. "It is you." The mirror begins to shimmer. Within it, Aaron sees flashes of his life, the ambition, the lectures, the empty applause, then the wars, the riots, the world's hunger for belief. His reflection dissolves into faces of millions seeking salvation. "I didn't cause this," he mutters. "I only translated words." The obsidian ripples, revealing Tenzin's reflection standing behind him, but younger, ageless, eyes burning with knowing. Every translator becomes the message he deciphers. Tenzin's voice echoes both within and outside the mirror. Aaron turns to him in shock, realizing the monk's face has changed. Calm now, luminous, like someone awakening from centuries of silence. "Who are you?" Aaron whispers. Tenzin steps closer, his eyes deep as night. "I am what remains of the guardians of the prophecy," he says. "For centuries, we carried the burden of remembering. Each age forgets, and one among us must awaken again." Aaron's breath catches. "Then the prophecy wasn't about a religion?" Tenzin smiles faintly. "It never was. It was about remembering what cannot be taught." The monk touches the mirror. Its black surface turns translucent, revealing galaxies swirling within. "Look," he says, "this is the mind. Infinite. Self-reflecting." Aaron stares into it, trembling as his reflection dissolves entirely. The air thickens with chanting that seems to come from nowhere. The mirror begins to pulse like a living heart. Aaron steps inside its reflection, suddenly standing in a vast void of golden mist. Visions of Mira, Kale, the chanting crowds appear, all crying out for truth. "What do they want from me?" he shouts. Tenzin's voice echoes from the void. "They want what you want. Release." Aaron falls to his knee. "Then how do I give it?" Silence answers. Then, faintly, by letting go of the giver. Aaron opens his eyes. He is back in the monastery, sobbing softly as the mirror fades into stillness. He looks to Tenzin, who now seems frail, fading like smoke in sunlight. Snow falls through the broken roof as Tenzin sits motionless beside the extinguished fire. "It's time," he whispers. Aaron kneels before him, grief flooding his voice. You can't leave now. The monk smiles. I was never here to stay. The prophecy needed only one witness. His body begins to fade into golden dust, scattering with the wind. Remember, Iran, the future religion is not to be found, but to be become. Iran weeps as the dust swirls around him, forming the faint image of a lotus blooming in air before vanishing completely. The mirror behind him cracks, not in destruction, but in release. Weeks later, Iran walks through Delhi's airport, face lined but luminous with calm. News screens around him proclaim, "The future religion spreads worldwide." Pilgrims fill terminals chanting, clutching replicas of the relic. Mira appears amid the crowd, eyes wide in disbelief. "You came back," she whispers. Iran smiles faintly. "No one ever leaves." She studies his face. Something has changed. His presence feels like stillness itself. "Where's Tenzin?" she asks. He gazes toward the glass ceiling where sunlight filters through gray clouds. "He is where truth belongs," Iran replies softly. In silence, the chanting fades around them as if the world momentarily remembers how to listen. A live broadcast begins. Iran stands before a hall of world leaders and scholars, the same stage where Kale once declared dominion over faith. Cameras swarm like insects. "You've seen the prophecy's promise," Aaron begins, his voice steady. "But you've mistaken the finger for the moon." Murmurs ripple through the crowd. This prophecy is not about a religion that saves us. It's about awakening from the need to be saved. Silence falls, heavy and electric. Kale rises from his seat, face pale with anger. "You would deny humanity hope." Aaron's eyes soften. "I deny only illusion. Hope without understanding is just another chain." Outside, thunder rolls. As if the heavens themselves pause to listen, media chaos explodes. Aaron's words spread across every channel. Some call him heretic, others prophet. Protesters flood the streets, chanting his name. Mira watches from her studio, face pale with realization. She turns off the cameras and walks outside, leaving her microphone behind. In the distance, Aaron sits beneath a banyan tree in quiet meditation, as curious onlookers gather. "You think you can end a religion?" a reporter shouts. Aaron opens his eyes, smiling. "I can only end the illusion that it ever began." Around him, the noise quiets. Even the birds pause in flight. For a heartbeat, the world remembers stillness. Night descends over the city. Kale Ryu sits alone in his office, the relic replica glowing faintly on his desk. Aaron's voice from the broadcast echoes through speakers. "Salvation cannot be sold." Kale grips the relic in fury, shouting, "Without belief, there is chaos." The relic's light flickers, then extinguishes. He collapses into darkness, his reflection vanishing from the glass around him. Meanwhile, Mira types her final article. "The religion that never was." Her closing line reads, "He didn't destroy the prophecy. He completed it." She clicks send and watches the city lights fade, as if exhaling. A quiet dawn rises over the Ganges. Aaron walks along the riverbank, barefoot, robes flowing in the soft wind. The world feels lighter, emptied of noise. Pilgrims kneel nearby, but he does not preach. Instead, he kneels beside them, folding his hands in silence. The river glimmers gold as sunlight touches the water, endless, patient, forgiving. Mira arrives, camera lowered, eyes full of tears. "What happens now?" she asks. Aaron gazes across the horizon. "Now humanity begins where religion ends." The wind carries his words like prayer. As the first chant rises from the pilgrims, Aaron closes his eyes, and for a moment, all sound dissolves into light. Days pass. Aaron lives simply by the river, unseen by most. visited only by wind and silence. People come and go, leaving flowers, prayers, questions. He answers none. Instead, he listens, as though each sound of water carries a forgotten teaching. One morning, Mira finds his small dwelling empty. On the wall hangs a single line written in chalk. When the seeker stops searching, the future religion begins. The hut feels alive, vibrating with invisible warmth. Outside, the river glows beneath the first rays of dawn, as if reflecting something unseen flowing within every living being. Word spreads. Aaron Dev has vanished. Some claim he ascended, others say he walked into the Ganges and became light. Pilgrims gather, expecting miracles, but none come. Instead, they find stillness, an unfamiliar peace. Mira records their quiet faces, their hands open, empty. He didn't promise paradise, she says softly to her camera, only presence. The air around the river hums faintly, not with prophecy, but with awareness. The relics fade from relevance, replaced by silent gatherings of people sitting together in peace, breathing, listening, remembering. Humanity begins to awaken, not through belief, but through being. Far away, Minister Kale Ryu resigns from office. Alone in a temple, he lights a single candle and bows. "Forgive me," he whispers, though to whom he does not know. The flame flickers, then steadies, reflecting two figures, himself and the faint image of Iran smiling within the light. He gasps, tears falling freely. The candle burns brighter, illuminating the temple's forgotten murals. Scenes of humanity learning not from gods, but from each other. Kale kneels in silence, the weight of centuries lifting from his chest. For the first time, he does not pray. He simply breathes. Mira writes her final piece. There is no prophecy. There is only remembrance, as her words fade onto the screen. She looks out her window to see children planting trees, where monuments once stood. She smiles faintly, closing her laptop. Outside, people gather in silence, no longer chanting, no longer asking, only being. The camera pans slowly upward to the horizon, where the sun spills over a world washed clean. The sutra's last words echo in Aran's voice. The future religion is not written, it is lived. The light brightens until the world itself becomes the sutra. The screen fades to white. A quiet voice, Aaron's, speaks like wind over water. Do not search for the religion that saves you. Become the silence that remembers you were never lost. Images dissolve. The mountains, the mirror, the river, the faces, all merging into a single breath of light. The final frame shows a lotus blooming in pure white radiance. Then, silence. After a long pause, words appear. When the last seeker stops searching, the future religion will begin. The sound of a single bell echoes once, clear, distant, eternal. Fade out.